about the notes. Hi everybody, it's me Brie and welcome back to All About the Notes. Today we are actually going to talk about what commercial music is and how to get involved in it. And I have a lot of people ask me like what I got my degree in, and I tell them that I got a bachelor's in science with music, commercial music, and an emphasis with music business. And people automatically are like, do you write music for commercials? Like, what's going on with this degree? And so I want to explain like what commercial music is, how I got into it, and I'm going to list some programs down below for you guys in case you want to know more about like commercial music programs maybe near you, and maybe that's an avenue that you actually want to go down as well, because I absolutely love what I got my degree in. I'm super passionate about it. So without further ado, let's get into this. So what is commercial music? And I guess my short answer to that is studying everything that is not classical. So basically you have the music world of education that you study classical music, which is a standard. Most universities provide, you know, classical music studying and learning about classical music. And then you have the commercial music, which is studying things that are not classical. So basically in mine, it was very hip-hop R&B focused, but it also had pop music, and it had country music and folk music, and also we got to study classical music as well. So we got a very overall view in our commercial music degree program compared to a classical standard program. So how I ended up getting into it. So I always knew that I wanted to do music in college. I think that was like, I'd always known I've wanted to do music. That was my love. And so, but it was super hard because when I was going to all these universities, they were only offering, like I said, the classical standard program. And me, I don't love classical music. You know, I can listen to it. I don't mind it. I find the art beautiful, but I'm not the type of person that's like, ooh, I really love classical music, and I'm like just jamming to that in my car, because I'm listening to Destiny's Child. I'm not that person. So for me, I was like, oh, so all you offer is classical music in my eyes, because most music programs, and this is where I feel that, you know, a lot of universities are getting old school, is because they offer only classical performance and music education. And I think that is becoming a little old school, because classical music is becoming a completely dying art. It is extremely hard to get into classical music. It is harder than the NFL. And almost, if you don't perform like songs of Beethoven and Bach, then your classical music that you compose almost never sees the light of day at all. And to me, I feel like that is completely useless, especially as a person who likes to write. I like to write my own music. I like to produce music. I love that type of stuff. And so I didn't really want to get into something that was almost a dying art and just hard to get into. And so that is kind of why I was like, I was trying to look for something outside of that. And it's kind of when I started to run into Berklee. And Berklee is not so far away from me, but they pretty much offer commercial music, and they offer everything that is not classical. And for me though, it was so expensive, and I didn't want to be in that much debt over it. You know, I am a broke girl. At the end of the day, it's like, I'm a broke girl, and I can't spend like, I think it's like $90,000 a semester to go to that school, and it was ridiculous. It's like, and so it's either I'd have to get a full ride to go, or I couldn't study at all. And I was just kind of not down that route at all. And so that's when a friend, introduced me to McNally Smith of Music, which was all the way in Minnesota. And I did go, and I ended up going to that school. I ended up getting accepted into the school. But again, it was like the tuition again. It was like $25,000 a year or something. And I was like, I'm a broke girl. I can't afford to do that. And there was no way it was gonna happen. So I ended up taking about a year off to kind of try to find something that I would be okay doing, you know? And I think it was in that moment that I started thinking about Nashville, because there's about 4 major music cities, and it's in North America. And it's Toronto, New York City, LA, and Nashville. And at the time, Nashville was kind of like, that might be more of my avenue, because they have more folk and country and stuff like that, which I was like, okay, well, let me go down that route. And they ended up having commercial music programs down there. And there was this one school that became my school, and it was TSU. And they were one of the first to actually have a commercial music program at their university. And that completely fascinated me. And there was another school that I was looking at too, which was Middle Tennessee State University. But Middle Tennessee State University, they only offered like the classical standard program again, and a music business program that was, for, publishing, record labels, that type of stuff. And at the time, I wanted to learn commercial music. Like, I wanted to learn commercial music performance and business. And Tennessee State University, I could do both. And I was fascinated by that. So that's how that school became the school that I want to be at. And the things that I learned at that school are completely amazing. And that's why I wanted to have this channel, because I want to talk about the stuff that I learned there and the stuff that, impacted my life. And I never would have learned this stuff at a classical standard school, because they don't talk about copyright. They don't talk about PROs. They don't talk about publishing. They don't talk about like songwriting, outside of classical songwriting and stuff like that. So this is the stuff that I want to talk about on my channel, the stuff that I learned there. But if you as well want to get involved in a commercial music program that yourself, then please go down below, because it was the best experience of my life. And we actually learned how to perform, perform. Like, I could do my hair flips on stage. It was so great. Like, where classical music is just, you have to posture and you just stand in one place and you can't talk to the audience. But at my school, we actually could perform. Like, we were able to talk to people, and we got out there and we performed in the city, and it was the best experience of my life personally. And so, if you want to get involved in a program too, then I have some programs down below that you should that might be in a city near you, so maybe you could study that as well. And I just want others to know that you don't have to study this classical standard, because it is slowly dying, and universities need to keep up with what is going on, and the future of music is commercial music. That is my personal opinion. The future of music is commercial music, because the music industry in commercial music makes so much more money than classical at the end of the day. And that is where we need to focus our kids at and focus our time into, because that is what's growing. That is what's topping charts, not classical music anymore. It is not what it used to be. Classical music, yes, it used to be like this thing, but now it's just become like, this is what it is. This is our basics, our techniques, our stuff, but it is not as popular as commercial music. And so hopefully this helps you out with maybe like knowing more about what I do, and knowing a little bit more about where this series is kind of going. And as always, thank you for listening, and I hope to see you next time.